Hey everyone, welcome to the Mayor's Table. On today's episode, we have the Executive Director of Visit Farmington, Tonya Stinson. She's on here to talk about all the great things that they're doing from the Visit Farmington office to attract people to your area. We all have an important part to play in that. We're going to talk about it on today's show. Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Farmington Mayor Nate Duckett. Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Mayor's Table. It's the month of May 2024. It's a good time to get out in the Four Corners, explore the great things that are going on here, and who better to have with me than the Executive Director of Visit Farmington, Tonya Stinson.
Good morning, Mayor. Thanks for having me back.
It's a blast to have you on the show.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
I'm a huge fan, you know that. So you've been involved in so many of the great things and kind of laid the foundation for what has become a 10-year now kind of marketing strategy to rebrand Farmington and just energize.
Where did that time go? 10 years?
I don't know.
We're not any older,
it's all in these gray hairs, so I know that for sure. But yeah, it's been 10 years since we jolted people, so we began jolting some journeys.
Yes, waking people up, grabbing some attention, right? Being bold, not being scared to brand bold, and we can look back and just really see how far we've come and the changes in our community and the positive messaging and projects.
That was the term that stood out to me too, is we got to be bold.
We have to be bold.
If we're going to turn a corner, if we're truly going to reinvent ourselves, so to speak, or really what I saw was maximize the kind of the core elements of this community that were not being promoted, they weren't being developed, and so much of that dealt with the beauty of this area, the natural beauty, and the opportunity for 300 days of sunshine and being outside. But you helped put all that together, and we've talked about that on the show. With me, I've got this Farmington events card. People can see that or not, but
nice.
I thought it interesting, just the Farmington, this name with the Four Corners logo in there. That was something that came out of our marketing plan. And
people chose that, and
the color schemes, the blue and the orange. As a Bronco fan, I'm good with that. It makes me happy. But you can see all sorts of the little touches of this strategy all over this community
now. Wayfinding signage, entryway monuments, which still to this day, just last week, we had some people tell us, thank you. Every time they see that coming into town, they feel like it's a special welcome to them.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm so proud of the work that we've done.
Yeah, I am too.
And that's, I don't know necessarily this show is going to be that place for me to say, great job, Tonya, and
but
your
to
team,
all of
but
us.
Everybody who's been involved in this, the businesses, you're still running your action team meetings.
Yes, we are.
So for folks who don't know, maybe tell them what the action team is.
So we do them quarterly this year. So I want to say whatever that first Tuesday in June is. This year, or in June, it'll be at the Civic Center. But we meet in groups. Anybody in the community can come. We have presentations by topic. So the June meeting will be about Play Farmington. So we'll have representatives from the city of Farmington, from San Juan College, and possibly some other people just give updates on projects and initiatives that they're working on. And then it's just networking in the room. Anybody that's in the room can give an announcement or something about an event or something that they're working on. Great time to meet new people that maybe can help you move forward something that you have happening. So it's always a positive meeting, first of all, and that's what I love about it. It's just a bunch of positive people doing the right things.
Well, and so for me, the foundation that was kind of being created on who Farmington was outside of extractive energy industries and those things, one of the most key components is education.
Right.
And these action meetings provide a lot of education for folks.
Right.
It also provides that networking, just as you mentioned. How networking to me is one of the most important things, especially as a small business owner, being able to connect with individuals and tell them your story and what you're about. I mean, that's how you create long-term, sustainable, commerce for yourself. But also any community member who's in love with the city and wants to find ways to promote it better and to be involved more. This is just another opportunity that's being provided to allow them to do that as well.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, so you said that's the second second Tuesday of June.
No, or I probably said the second. I meant the first.
First, maybe you said
Sorry.
the first. That's okay.
It's on our events calendar, so
That's
we
what I
can
wanted
find
to-
it there.
Yes, because the farmingtonnm.org website is, my opinion, one of the best events calendars for any community that I've ever seen. It's accessible for people. It's easy to add your event to
Yes.
it.
Yep.
The action committees get to choose
Yeah,
Or
we
do you
haven't
do
been
that
doing
anymore?
the voting just because we're meeting quarterly, and it's kind of hard because people, if they would submit far in
True.
advance, that is the key too. If you're going to submit an event, get it up as soon as you have all the details locked down, because the longer it's up, right, the more eyes are on it.
Sure. Yeah, if you go scrolling through that calendar, by
Mm-hmm.
the way, I mean, every weekend is just packed with
Yeah.
something. And it's like something for anybody.
There's things
Every
for everyone to
age,
do.
Yes. It's a great place to go. So farmingtonnm.org. Maybe Greg will throw that up on the screen. But if you haven't been there, and I hope you have, check it out. Anybody who's interested in learning about Farmington, what do they do in Farmington? That's another great website. It has everything broken out by the types of events, the types of
Activities.
exploring you want to do. That's just a great marketing tool, and for locals, I think it's a must-have. So,
Well, thank you. You're always
Yeah.
such a great supporter of it. I appreciate it.
we talk about it every week on the radio show too, because it's
Cool.
that important. I
Yeah,
think for people
and check
to
the
know.
calendar often, because we're adding events almost daily. So just because you saw it last week doesn't mean there isn't something different on there now.
Right. So, your agency, which is the Farmington Convention Visitors Bureau, is now known as Visit Farmington.
Correct.
So, making that change.
Very literal right there. Visit Farmington. That's what we do. We
Simple.
want people to visit Farmington.
You all have been out, and each year, you kind of put together your marketing plan, your strategies. How are you going to capitalize on the materials and the locals and everything that you can? Tell us where you've been and what you guys have been up to.
So on the road in terms of travel shows?
Sure,
Or okay.
yeah.
So we have been participating in a show called the Travel and Adventure Show. Actually, I would say 15 years maybe. We went to Denver on our own for a lot of years, but now we do it in a partnership with some other destination marketing organizations from New Mexico. And this year we did Denver, Dallas, and Phoenix. So
Okay.
3 different shows. Chantel is our tourism outreach coordinator, so she was just out on the road. And these are engaged people that are looking for places to go on vacation, because they pay an entry fee to get into these shows. So they're really committed
So, yeah,
to
that's
being
what
there.
I want to understand. Who exactly is coming to the shows?
Yeah, people that are interested in learning about new places to travel.
Okay.
And so you just walk in, and there's places from all over the country. There's other countries there. Sometimes there's businesses that serve there, and we're all, vying for that attention, right? And
Yeah.
so Chantel goes in and she just engages with these visitors and answers their questions and gets them excited. And we work with our members, and we do some fun potential giveaways and bring people to Farmington. She's met people this year that saw her last year, and they came back and they remembered, oh, I still have your bag. I use it every day. And what's different in Farmington now? Or I did come. And so it's just fun to hear that, right? That's
Right.
exciting when you have that type of feedback.
Well, you want those repeat customers.
You do.
Which means we're doing something right.
Yes, repeat customers, extended stays.
That was always a key in, back in my retail days, was not only do I want to make an impact for this person who's here, but I want them to be so excited about the possibility of coming back that they come back and they bring friends
Exactly.
with them.
Right.
We want to create raving fans. And I think, kind of the marketing strategy that we've done, and certainly the projects that we have blessed and funded that this community has been behind to help
Right.
support these efforts. And I was making just a short list. Lake Farmington was one of the first components, opening up Lake Farmington for
Yeah.
recreation, the campground that's been built up there. We're the beach, and
Yes.
we're going to have the aqua park.
Aqua Park is so exciting.
Will be open here, I think, next week, based on when this is airing. I'm hoping it's the next week. The downtown renovation, that we wanted to create this beautiful streetscape where people could come and they could really appreciate kind of that old time feeling downtown, and that's been a huge component of it. The Civic Center upgrade. We were at an event there the other day at the Civic Center, and I was remembering back in high school at my prom, it was just a white-walled, white-tiled
The disco
space.
ball.
And so to be in there now in this beautiful, warm, carpeted, lit,
Right.
and so that thing is packed all the time. It's always has events going on there. Obviously, we talked about the welcome signs, the wayfinding signs. It's been a part of that. ORI, the Outdoor Recreation Industry Initiative, came out of all the coordinating efforts that the CVB put together to bring all the stakeholders, whether it's BLM, county, the cities,
Right.
putting us all on the same page in the same room, saying, okay, how can we accomplish these things? And with Ori, and just that, I use that as a blanket kind of idea, the mountain bike parks that the county and BLM have put together, off the Kinsey Trails, the East Glade Mountain Bike Park, the College Mountain Bike Park, and now they've got their pump track going on. We've got Juniper Basin Mountain Bike Park that's going to hopefully break ground this year. And we're talking BMX track. How can we get a BMX track? Because from a tourism standpoint, and sports tourism is a huge, there's a lot of money in sports tourism.
There is.
As a former travel ball parent,
You know.
I know how much money was
You
being
know.
spent. And I hear these folks, our soccer teams that are going to Albuquerque for their leagues, or our dancers who are, I'm almost blessed that we weren't a dance family, because that just seems
A lot,
incredible how much money people are
Right.
putting into their kids. We love our kids.
Right. And we've benefited from that. We just had, for I think the 10th year, Rocky Mountain Nationals Youth Wrestling Tournament at McGee Park. So
1,700 wrestlers.
Right.
That's
So
huge.
Those are the things we like to see. And then also, it's families, so they all come
Yep.
in together, and then they're exposed to your community, and we're hoping that they like what they see and they want to come back on their own time as well.
Our softball league, Four Corners softball, fast pitch softball, they have done such a great job with the Kathy Rouse tournament, and another one. And then the soccer teams have the Oktoberfest Soccer Slam. I'm sure I butchered that, but but people are recognizing, and,
Right.
and when they come here and they see our facilities, and they get a breath of this community and the quality people that we have, and that's literally the majority of feedback that I get when I speak with somebody who's visiting or they've just moved here, is they just can't believe how beautiful the city is and how kind the people are. And somebody who's in tourism, that is really important.
It's so important. That interaction that you have if you're standing on a street corner waiting to cross the street and a visitor walks up, in those 2 minutes, you can make or break everything in how the interaction goes. So we just, love your communities, be proud of it, talk good about it online, in person, because that really can make an experience for someone, and it either determines whether they want to come back or they don't ever want to come back.
Now, each of us has a role to play.
Right.
Never think that you don't,
Right.
because it is not just in your attitude and your demeanor every day when you're out and about, but also how you take care of your property. We want neighborhoods with clean yards, and we don't want trash and refuse
Yeah.
laying about it. Just be responsible for who you are. That goes a long way for the people who live in your neighborhoods, or for people who are looking for places to move to.
Yes.
You want it to be welcoming.
You do.
Same thing goes for businesses on Main Street. This time of year is the weed. It's the weed show.
Yeah.
Anywhere that people have rocks and landscaping, and how important it is for those corporate partners on Main Street and our other areas that those businesses take care of those lots, because what people see is the perception is reality.
It is.
You use all your senses when you're creating what you believe this place to be, and the eyes are the first thing in my mind. What you see goes a long way as to whether or not it's some place that you feel comfortable, you feel safe in, and you want to come back to.
True. It is. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We all just play the part. And if we, what do they say? Many hands make light work. If we're all just doing a little bit of our own part, we can make a big difference.
Well, we've got really good groups. Alan Elmore and Cliffhangers, who do the Glade cleanup,
Right.
a couple times a year.
So thankful for that, the
their
work.
volunteerism is huge.
And recently, just Desert River Guides did a river cleanup.
That was my next one.
Yeah.
So we just pulled 51 tires out of the San Juan River.
I know. Sad they had to do that, but so grateful they
Grateful
did
they're
it.
doing it.
Yeah.
Right. And for folks watching, we need individuals to be a part of these groups,
Yeah.
because they're doing these kind of great things, and they're being good stewards for the lands that they're using, or the rivers that they're making money off of. But they're providing those experiences for folks that are going to make them want to come back. And that's how we're trying to grow this economy that's built around outdoor recreation. And that's been a huge part of what you're playing in. And I'm interested. You just gave a presentation to the city council,
Yeah.
and you probably gave it to the county. And but you talked in there about what the numbers are showing us now. Why are we seeing an increase in traffic to our area because of the marketing of your team?
Right. So our key markets that we're in are, the 4 states, so New Mexico, Arizona, Colorado, and Utah, then also Texas, Nevada, and California. We can go wider out through social and some other means, but those are the ones that we are targeting up first. We have seen an increase in visitation from all of them. We did do a real targeted focus on the Colorado Springs area last year, And we were really happy to see a 31% increase in visitation from that area.
Wow.
So that was nice.
How do you measure that?
So
I
we
get
use
asked
some
that
services.
question.
No, I understand. And it's not easy. And the way things are changing in the world with Google and whatnot, we're having a little less information flow our way. But we do use services that do devices in market and also in market credit card swipes, along with information coming from occupancy through a service called STR for hotel stays. So you just do the best you can with collective data coming in from those measures.
Sure.
But that's where we see it. And then cross-checking it with some of our own that we can still get through Google.
And I noted, and I meant to bring the numbers here and have in front of me, but we've also seen increases from Arizona, from Utah, from our surrounding states, Texas. And if I drive down the street on any given day, I'm seeing license plates from all over the United States. The other day was Alberta, Canada, Oregon. So people are, they're finding us.
They are.
And we're kind of off the beaten path. But I think we sit in the heart of one of the most beautiful places in the world. And we certainly are the hub of retail and business and services for 300,000 people. We always have to remember that.
Right.
When we talk about folks and how important your interactions are with people, it's 300,000 people that are coming through here
Exactly.
each month.
Yeah, and I mentioned those states, but our third most important market that we target is that retail that is coming in for shopping, and we're getting a message in front of them and saying, don't just come on Saturday for 4 or 5 hours. Come and stay and play for the weekend.
Right.
And that is important to us, and that has been growing as well.
In hotels, just so folks understand too, the way the Convention Visitors Bureau is funded is through lodger's tax, and I think that's it, right? Just lodger's tax.
That's the vast majority. We have some membership dues, but they're
right.
smaller. But we get a portion of the lodger's tax that's collected, that's paid by the visitor to a Farmington hotel that they submit, and then through our contract with the city, we get a portion of those funds. And those funds are to be spent to market your community.
Absolutely. If somebody's interested in how, every day we're on social media, right? And I know you guys play a lot on social media. How can people be engaging in that with the CVB, or Visit Farmington, and promote our community?
Well, first of all, share all the good, positive things about it. Don't be quick to criticize. Doesn't mean we think all things are perfect, but there's probably a better way to come and find out, how to solve those problems. But share the positive things. Invite people to come here and tell them, we're quick to say, oh, I went someplace else and it was so great. You should. That's awesome. But invite them to come here as well. On our website, there's a couple of ways. So right now we're doing a call for photos. So on that same events calendar, they'll find the information. And if you think you have a really beautiful, inspiring photo of an activity or a landmark in the Farmington greater area, San Juan County, there's a way to submit it. And if you're on Instagram, so we need more people on Instagram, but taking those beautiful, enticing photos, use 2 hashtags when you post them on Instagram: Visit Farmington and Jolt Your Journey. That way, if we see them through those hashtags, there might be a way that we will feature that on our Instagram feed on our website.
So hashtags work?
They do. If you have your open account and you use them, that allows us to see them that way.
I see some of those accounts. They'll have a dozen or more hashtags because they're trying to get that information out as far as it can possibly go.
Yep.
I'm going to backtrack just a little bit.
Yeah.
Talking positively about the place that you live is so important. And obviously, not everything every day is going to go your way.
Sure.
You may have a bad experience in a business. You may be at a park and see something that disturbed you. But there are people and places that you can take that information to that doesn't blast your community or a local business on social media.
Right.
I never understand why people feel the need to criticize a local business on social media. Call the owner. Talk to them. That's where you need to take that problem to, because your words have an impact greater than just that post. I don't know. That was just my soapbox.
And it's true. It's just we can do so much good if we just find the positive things and bring more attention to them. I'm not saying ignore the bad, but think about any time we've had a bad experience. That seems where all our attention goes. But how many times did you have a good experience? Did you bring proper attention to that?
Right. No,
it makes you feel good. It makes the person that you're complimenting feel good. Find their manager and tell them what a great job they did, or how much fun you had at their business, or the activity was great. People are working hard, and sometimes it feels like you're thinking, is it making any difference?
Right.
So let's. We used to have those cards. Thank you for jolting my journey, and I think we need to bring those back because it's amazing how good you feel when you do bring the proper attention to something that was good.
No, and I think you bring up a really good point too. We had created a program to recognize people doing good things in our community, and I actually think Barry Digman was the last person that we gave one to. It's been a couple months now, but it's just a recognition of people who are out there, talking good about this community, promoting our community, doing good deeds in this community. If you see somebody do something you're like, you know what, we really need to recognize this person. Those are the things that make the biggest impact.
Right.
When we promote the good, you're going to see more of the good because people,
you're inspired.
People are like, oh yeah, well shoot, yeah, I could do that every single day.
Yeah.
So if folks out there have somebody or a business or an organization, a nonprofit, somebody you believe deserves recognition because they're doing great things and are making a positive impact in our community, please send me an email at mayor@fmtm.org, and we'll start that process. So
that would be great. I love that.
Yeah.
Just sharing all the good things.
Got to share it. That's so important too, and what you're doing from the tourism's perspective. Filming in Farmington. I was just up in Durango last month. There was a call for extras for Kevin Costner's filming around this area. We've had Jumanji here. We've had Michael Douglas, productions here. Is there anything you can share about filming in Farmington right now?
Project-wise, no. And I'll always be the last to speak about it because as a liaison, I just said I won't. I can't. I think even when Michael Douglas was here landing the helicopter on Broadway, I was like, I don't know. I just denied it. So it wasn't my place to tell. Unless a production wants you to speak about it, then that's one thing. But sure, I currently, I guess I can say this, working with the film office because they are gathering some B-roll for their own efforts, and we're just highlighting some areas. Usually it's our landscapes up here that are unique and different, and so that draws people in and gives them reason to take a look. And why would they move out of a larger city where sometimes it's more affordable? Of course, there's some incentives from the state for that, but also sometimes we can provide a landscape that they can't find there.
Right. No, that was always a big. Are you still taking? Because I know there was a time people could submit pictures of potential locations.
Sure. If someone has something, they can always get in contact with me, and we have a place where that can be housed now. So
good deal. It's been a while since we talked about that. Membership.
Yes.
So talk about that membership component and what is the benefit of being a member of Visit Farmington?
So through our office, we do have a simple membership dues structure, but it's really for the businesses that have a service or a product that a visitor would benefit from. Because we had other people come to us and we love the support, but I want to make sure that they get something out of their membership. And we're just saying this is our audience. It's the visitor. So are you a fun retail store they might want to be in? Do you offer an activity? Are you a tour guide? Are you lodging? Restaurants? There's some other unique categories that we can work with. Most of our dues start at $50 a year. There's a few that are a little bit higher, but very affordable. And we can walk you through the ways that you can get the best bang for your buck out of that.
Sure.
To get in front of those visitors.
Hospitality, restaurants. You mentioned guides and guide services. When we talk about opportunities and kind of the gaps that need to be filled, I mean, is that still one where there's somebody who has a passion for guiding people through the Glade or taking people to the Bisti or
and there could be other unique ways. We're always looking for something different. It doesn't mean that you're going to be busy every day. You're going to have to start and slowly grow your market, but maybe it's someone that wants to do horseback riding trails. There's visitors that come here. They don't necessarily have a horse that they're bringing with them. Is that something you can provide, and is there a place to do that? Yeah. Those are conversations we've had. I've seen different things in other cities. There's a place somewhere in Texas. This is going to make sense. Or you could use like a forklift or a dump truck or I don't know, some of those big machinery and move dirt. Yeah. People pay, right? I'm like, well, there's a unique idea.
That is a unique idea.
So the sky's really the limit. What's your interest? What's your passion? What are your resources? What do you already have? Are you looking for, a different type of business or maybe a business in retirement? I don't know, but we can think of all sorts of creative ways.
No, that's a fun idea.
Yeah.
Moving dirt with giant machinery.
Yes.
Anytime I see those big machines, I just sit there and stare.
right?
No, it's just cool to see what we've been able to,
And
to create.
there's a
make
place
work
where you
easier.
can actually try it out yourself.
That is awesome. Very good. Any other questions? Any other thoughts? Anything else? There was one thing I did want to mention while you were here, and I'm going to have to think about it again.
Okay.
But go ahead.
Well, no, just we're 40 years old this year, Visit Farmington, our office.
40
We were
years.
1984 is when we were incorporated. And I just want to thank actually the people back then, the city of Farmington and others that were involved. They really were at the forefront of thinking about, let's have a standalone Convention and Visitors Bureau that only focuses on tourism. 40 years ago, that not too many places, I think, did that. There's some major cities now that still aren't operating where that's a commitment to that industry. So thank you for those that made it happen. Thank you for letting us do what we do. We love it. My team is very passionate about what they do. They just want to tell the stories of their area. And most of them are from here.
Right.
And they're excited to share with the world, really, what we have to offer and what makes Farmington unique.
So I remember what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
What is the number one attraction that brings people to our area? And because nationally, internationally,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be.
I can just speak from, I'm in my office, I can hear my team answering the calls or know what they're discussing with visitors that come in or handling on social, and the questions are almost always about the BISTI. Now, there's other things that get a lot of attention, but I'm talking right here, close into the Farmington area, and they're fielding those questions daily. It is truly unique and it's beautiful, and we want to educate people on how to treat it properly, what to do out there, what not to do out there, what they're seeing. I mean, you've been on that tour. You're seeing things you don't even understand what you're seeing. And,
Right.
and so it is really important to educate and to create a space where they can find that information out.
But the BISTI is
it still
is that
floats.
place.
Yeah, it is.
It is absolutely one of the most unique places I've ever been.
Yeah.
Just incredible. And we do have a guide service that will take people out there.
We do. We have a couple of options.
And one of the other cool things that we kicked off late last year was our plan to put in a permanent exhibit in the Farmington Museum dedicated to kind of the BISTI and the history of that area, of this area.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
They'll be kind of like a Farmington story, but a component of it will be about the BISTI. And again, I think why that's so important is, one, if you can't go out there for any reason, but you're interested in it, you would provide a space to find it. We really want it to be immersive, as if you were, in the BISTI. Also, another place to educate. And why is it
Right.
federally protected? Why do you need to treat it and handle it and not do certain things while you're out there? Or for those that do want to go out, a place where they can stop and find out more information so they're prepared when they go out there.
And I want people to know there was a question on whether or not this permanent exhibit would then push out the travel exhibits, and that's not the case.
Right.
We will still have our travel exhibits, but I think just looking at where we're located and the opportunity that exists, having a spot where guide services could kick off from, that education component, I really think it's going to be a dynamic
I do too. I'm
addition
very
to the
excited by
museum.
that.
Yeah. No, lots of great things going on here in our area. Tonya, just appreciate you and your staff and everything that you're doing. And anything else you want to share?
I don't. Just thank you. Thank you for being such a great partner, allowing us to do what we do and allowing us this platform to let people know a little bit. Locals aren't our audience, so they don't always understand who we are or what we're doing. But locals like to play as well, so our information is just as beneficial to them.
Yeah. Well, Tonya Stinson, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, farmingtonnm.org is the place to go for all local events, things happening in your community. If you have something going on that you're sponsoring, your group is putting out there, you can add that to the calendar. Make sure you check it out. Be a positive influence out there. There's such a need for positive influencers. And certainly here in the Four Corners, when you're a positive influence, you're spreading a message that is going to be felt broadly and be very attractive for those who live here and those that we want to bring in. So thank you all for what you do. We'll see you here next time on the Mayor's Table.